name is Marina Ciccarelli. I'm from the School of Occupational Therapy and Social Work and the Faculty of Health Sciences. I'm the coordinator of one of the first year common units in the Faculty of Health Sciences. And this means that each year we have about 2,500 first year students enrolled in the unit, and the unit's evidence-informed Health Practice 100. With such large numbers coming from diverse health profession disciplines, the challenge was how would we have these students in class feeling that they had a sense of belonging. So we teach the on-campus classes in a very large teaching space. There's about 100 students in each laboratory, and we have them allocated randomly into interprofessional groups, so they're not sitting with people that they might know. I made sure that the room was refurbished so that we had 4 very large screens around the room, so no matter where you sat, you could see the content that the tutors were talking about. And we didn't teach from the front of the classroom, we taught from the middle of the classroom. The Faculty of Health Sciences provided each group of students with 2 laptops that they could plug into, and where necessary they could refer to information online to be able to answer the questions that we might be covering in class. Rather than have face-to-face lectures for on-campus students, because we have so many of them, and also because our fully online students aren't able to access those face-to-face lectures, for this unit we decided to go fully online for our lectures, and so they were in the form of iLectures, and rather than one long 50-minute lecture, we broke it up into 15-20-minute mini lectures for each week that had particular content, so it was almost like little modules for each lecture. It allowed students to be able to view that in their own time. We posted how long each lecture went for next to the lecture link, so they knew, okay, this one goes for 20 minutes, I've got that amount of time right now, let's watch that one, I'll come back to the other one later. It also meant that students who wanted to review the lecture material didn't have to go through the whole 50-minute lecture. They could pick the modules that they most wanted to hear again. And I had students report to me that they loved the fact that the lectures were fully downloadable. So they were able to download it to their iPads, to their iPods. I had one mum say to me, she had a toddler, and as she was feeding him in his high chair and preparing his dinner, she'd be listening to me on the iPad on her kitchen counter. So from a staff perspective, it was efficient use of our time. From a student perspective, it was really important that we managed that classroom environment. Some students felt the classes were too big. Other students were fine with it, and that's why we wanted them to be in their same groups each week, so there was at least 5 other friendly, familiar faces in a very large class environment. One of the things that worked really well, that I think, is that we had students name their teams, so they weren't just a group of people, they were actually a team. And because we had on each table a piece of paper that was laminated with their team icon blown up and their team names, every week we could, when we were referring to students, we would say, team so-and-so, tell us what you think, or team such and such over here have done a wonderful job, can we share it with the rest of you? So there was really that sense of identity, and I think particularly for first year students it's a really important thing to have some sense of belonging. We didn't want to exclude the fully online students from this learning opportunity, and we know how important it is that if you're a fully online student, perhaps somewhere in a remote area, in fact we had some international students enrolled in the unit, we wanted to create that community of learning among them as well. So we had our teaching support officer contact students, and she also randomly allocated students from different health science backgrounds into a virtual team. They also had a team name, they had a team icon, and they were able to do this in a collaborative way as well. It just meant that they knew that they weren't alone in completing this particular unit, and that if they wanted to, they could seek out support from the other people in their virtual team.